It's Christmas Day, meaning it's 9 years since I made this channel. It's surreal for me to say I've been making content on YouTube for almost a decade. So in this video we'll be taking a look on the past year, what's been going on, the channel, and how my life's gone. I'm really proud of some of the things I've done this year, and I look forward to looking back on them all with you. I also spent a lot of time this year reflecting on how life has changed, which you'll see reflected in the existential crises sprinkled throughout this video. Like last year, each month will be split into 3 topics: the channel's development during the month, any life developments during the month, and music I listened to from each month of the year. Last year I kept notes on which music I was thinking about a lot, but I also started using Last.fm last September, so if you're wondering where I'm getting these from, it's like my Spotify Wrapped, but better. So, 9th year on the platform, good music every month. Why don't we look back on what happened in January? New year, same me. Can 2024 be the year of Jckistan? Starting the year off with a Call of Duty video, which you probably didn't see since YouTube only showed the video to 50 people. Re-uploaded the video again and the numbers are back to normal. For some reason, YouTube sometimes blesses you with the best performance imaginable, or a total flop. Keep gambling, kids. I was an unemployed teenager, so we'll be seeing a lot of videos in the first few months. More spare time, plus a revived enthusiasm for my channel led me to putting out many videos during this time. Rainbow Six made its debut on this channel. I still can't understand why people enjoy that game, followed by an oddly successful Hoi 4 video. Another video to start the year off well showed off my new microphone, the one you're hearing right now. For the past 3 years this channel has been plagued by a potato microphone, which still hurts my ears hearing to this day. I can imagine it's probably made my videos a lot more tolerable to you too. After all, I have several unfinished videos from before I got this microphone, which I now can't edit because I hate the old microphone. To celebrate this joyous occasion, the next installment of the Super Mario 64 series was recorded with this mic. Can you believe I've been haunting that subscriptions page of yours for 4 years? As previously mentioned, it's January, so I'm still unemployed after finishing school last year. The last few months of last year were spent crawling through job applications after a rather anticlimactic end to my time in school. While I braced myself for more rejection emails, I set myself a small goal for this year, since I still haven't actually made my 2024 New Year's resolutions yet. I wanted to return to weekly uploads, meaning by the year's end there should be 50 new videos on the channel. There are not 50 new videos on the channel. As all this happened at the start of the year, I found myself back in my old school one last time. It was surreal to be standing in those walls again. I'm sure many of you have already left school, but many of you are also still in school at the minute. One thing you're not really prepared for is suddenly coming back to a place that's no longer yours. It's a bit like revisiting a home you used to live in, long after you moved out. I briefly spoke on this in my last retrospective video, but school came and went very suddenly for me, and it felt like it was ripped from under me. One minute I was a student living in classrooms during the day and making those cheap videos you know and hate in the evening. Next thing I know, I'm standing at the gates of my school, the one constant in my life for 7 years, and I'm about to leave those gates for almost certainly the last time. As of writing this, it was 11 months ago, and it still feels surreal to think that. I can still remember seeing these people for the last time, the atmosphere in the room. I hadn't spoken to these people since June. Now they're all off at university, settling into their new lives that I'm not a part of. Some of those people I'm glad to leave behind, admittedly. I'm sure I'll be that person to some people, which I can only take responsibility for. If I could go back and change a lot of the things I did, I would. I'm sure we all would. Still, 7 years on, I'm sitting in the same seats as I did a few months ago, surrounded by the same faces, voices, and senses that were still vivid in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't the same. These were all different people to the ones I'd left behind back in June. January had been 6 months of the people around me growing and changing, and yet I still felt the same. I felt stunted. 6 months away from everyone showed how different life had become. I pulled a chair out by the door, which I'd spent years working at. I sat there, filled with all the emotions and thoughts that I feel now, and I put on music one last time. That moment lasted minutes, but it felt like years. 7 years, all waved goodbye in only 5 minutes. So, what did I listen to? I remember putting on the Cardigans' Step On Me. You might recognise it from TikTok, but you'll hopefully also recognise it from the song that played in last year's video for June. It was the song I played to myself as I left school during my exams. It's the same song I played when I left school in January. I've spent a lot of time talking about how I felt leaving school, but another shock this month was actually being invited to a job interview. The interview flopped, but I did listen to Radiohead's Planet Telex on the way home. Hundreds of job applications for retail work, yet no one wants to hire. All I'm required to do is put things on shelves. The CEX want the best and brightest to stand behind a counter. Maybe everything is broken, just like Tom York says. February sees yet more content as I sit unemployed. We saw my cool cars in Forza. A dude got his brains redecorated in Modern Warfare. That, and a return to the Minecraft world. This was the first time I had opened that world since August. I'm fairly proud of my cars though. I have to acknowledge there's clearly less interest in some videos more than others. This is why I haven't made a return to it. I love the game, but I also care a lot about sharing these experiences with people who are genuinely interested in what's being shown. You wouldn't believe the number of games that I want to play, but just don't have the audience to share the passion with. This channel is a balancing act of content that I feel reflects my interests, but is also what people are interested in clicking on. I suppose it's a good thing that I haven't touched the Minecraft series in 6 months. After all, this month wasn't particularly a great month to be a Minecraft YouTuber. Have you ever been to Camden? Because I did this month, and it was interesting. England being, well, England, I sat down in a wet and miserable corner of Camden Market, eating a Tesco meal deal and trying to avoid the rain. I'm pretty sure a group of goths walked past and laughed at me. In February, I also started using Snapchat after much begging from my best friend, so I'll have the Snapchat memories to look back on and to cringe at. If you want some life advice from me being unemployed at this time, never trust a company that offers you an immediate interview over Zoom. I had 2 interviews with companies run by old people but presented by young people who bragged about how their job got all-inclusive company flights across the world. I got shown selfies in Abu Dhabi, New York and Istanbul, but strangely enough, no mention of salary. Gee, I wonder why. Remember, if something's too good to be true, give it a second look over. and a third, and a fourth, until it no longer seems too good to be true. Also, if your interview has several dozen people in one Zoom call, you're being roped into a scheme. Get out as soon as you can. One of the songs I was listening to while hiking around the southeast was Labby Seafrilla's It Must Be Love. The song's a great vibe to listen to while wandering around London. I got to ride a lot of trains this month. If you've never had the joy of listening to music on a train, you're missing out. Grab a train ride to somewhere and throw this song on. Only 2 videos this month. I threw some curveballs into orbit, to varying degrees of success. I suppose what you're all more surprised by is the fact that for the first time in this channel's 4-year history, I have a friend to appear on the channel. This was a huge amount of fun to record, so if you've got a minute, check out the video we made together. It's one of my proudest videos after all. They're more entertaining when you bring someone funnier than you on. Also, if you happen to be watching this video at a party sometime around New Year's, hello, happy to be in your living room. Behold, your favourite boy has a job. No longer am I an unemployed, miserable gamer sitting at home all day. Now I'm an employed, miserable gamer sitting at home half of the day. For context, this follows 6 months of unemployment and 200 job applications. Job market's rough at the minute. If you're worried that having a job means I'll be less focused on the channel, continue to worry. I spend all my free time eating from the supermarket bakery. This month, my journey into Radiohead music continues as I discover this live recording of My Iron Lung, recorded back in Ireland in 1996. Found it in a music store in Camden. Why are there so many Americans in Camden? Effectively, as soon as my new job started, the time I had to make videos seemingly vanished. Only 3 videos this month, including the beginning of my low-effort Let's Talk series, not to be confused with the much more dull and uninteresting Talk Tour. A Forza video where I finally won a race, and the final Call of Duty video. The Call of Duty video says it's part 1 of 2, since at the time I was planning on playing the second half of that mission another time. Now I've scrapped making that series because, realistically, no one wants to see it. I feel that because the new Call of Duty games are so popular and so oversaturated with people making videos on them, no one really cares about an old COD game from 2007. It's a bit like me deciding to play FIFA 13. Who wants to watch that, apart from people specifically watching that game? That said, every content creator should make the videos they're passionate about, not just the ones that are successful. I'm just passionate about sharing my interests with more of an online community. From my mansion paid for by NordVPN sponsorships. Subscribe to make me a millionaire. This month was big. Looking back on the camera roll, I got really into cheese on toast. If you haven't had cheese on toast before, make one, unless you're lactose intolerant. But that was my month. Work, rest, eat, watch Top Gear, work, rest, eat, work, rest, eat, work, rest, eat. It's all a bit tiring, really. I'm out the house several hours a day just working, and then a couple of hours travelling, and an hour or so getting ready for work, and all that sleeping. There's not a lot of time left in the day. When I was unemployed, I had hours upon hours to entertain myself with, to the point where the inactivity was excruciating. I found myself asking, is that it? I've spent my morning sending out all these job applications, and now I have the rest of the day to myself. The free time felt numbing. I grew frustrated not having anything worthwhile. No access to the outside world because there was no money going into my account. Isolated and left to myself, I spent all this time making videos, because what else am I going to do? Now I have a job. I ask myself, is this it? Is this my life for the next 40 years? I'd just spent 7 years of my life in the same routine. 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, the same buildings, the same routines, the same classes, the same faces, the same environment. But there was always that end in sight. I never noticed time passing until the end of school was closer to me, until I could see that end in sight. The horizon is now further than I could have possibly imagined. In the UK, I retire at 68. I have another 49 years to work and to somehow live before I can clock out one last time. 49 years. How do you occupy yourself for 49 years? How do you occupy yourself for 49 years when each day of work drains the life from your body? When each day leaves you with a slither to exist as whoever you want to be? A year before this point, I wasn't even sitting exams. A year ago, I was sitting in classrooms, passing the time with friends while we waited for the inevitable exam season to finally amount to 2 years of hard work and stress. A year ago, I was making the worst car in Forza Horizon to an audience of 30 people. 1 year on, exhausted, lifeless, nostalgic, and lost, I often think about the person I once was, the comfort I took for granted, and how I'd repeat the last 7 years all over again in a heartbeat. I often think about what life could have been, what life had been. These thoughts appear to me in my dreams as I try to recover my strength each night. Nice dreams. It's the 10th of April, 2024. I'm on a bus home from work. The sun is setting on another day of work, another week of work. My plans to upload every week of the year are effectively abandoned. There's no way I can make videos feeling as tired as I do now. Are all days going to be like this? Days where I'm too tired to create, interwoven with days where I'm recovering from work exhaustion? I think back to only a month ago, where my biggest worries were filling job forms and getting a video up around Saturday. I think back to only a year ago, when my biggest worries were saying goodbye to a life I had barely lived. I hit play on my Spotify. A new track, one I hadn't properly listened to before. Tom York begins to sing about being loved, about the friends that give him sunshine, making him happy. Something feels different about this song. Perhaps it's the lyrical imagery of being loved in a delusion. Perhaps it's the warm tone of Johnny Greenwood's guitar. Perhaps it's the echoes in the second half that feel like a distant memory, calling out to see if anyone's still listening. Something in this song resonated with me. If I had to guess, whatever it is, it's topped by the gentle lullaby ending of this track, gently echoing the same sentiment I was left with on this cold evening bus home. That's all it was now. No matter how much I wished for the ease of life that I was once blessed with, it was all just a daydream that I could never grasp in reality. As one of my teachers once put it, welcome to the real world. The cold, real world. All that was left was a nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream. New month, same filler content. Only one video that I recorded before a shift I had in the evening. To be honest, I'm not massively proud of what I put out. I think I could have done better, and I'm sure the analytics will... Good Lord, what is happening in there? Okay, so maybe one of my lesser quality videos somehow cheated the algorithm and got 1.2 thousand views. Which is incredible, considering as of writing this script, I have absolutely no recollection of what I said in that video. Seeing the positive response was absolutely heartwarming though. It felt surreal to open my YouTube studio page and see that view count keep going up. Seeing comments pop up on the video was a real fun watch too. So if you enjoy this video, be sure to talk about it in the comments. If any of my videos interest you, drop a comment, join the Discord, write to my business email, whatever floats your boat. As I mentioned in the description and replies, the Let's Talk series was originally just a place for me to rip off another one of Jay Schlatt's more successful creations, the Weekly Slap. You might know him as the creator of the Funny Mic, which I too shamelessly stole back in 2021. The series has since devolved into incoherent rambles where I put less pressure on myself to make the best possible work I can. I want this channel to have some resemblance of standards, which is why I'm retiring this series to the second channel. If you like ethical slop content, check out my second channel. To be honest, nothing happened this month aside from that. Ate food, worked a job, not much else. All I can give you is my music recommendation for the month of May, which will be Linger by the Cranberries. A really cute song I only discovered this month. A great listen as the evenings get longer and the weather gets warmer. Happy Gay Month, gay people! What better way to celebrate than watching an exactly 30-minute video essay about niche historian drama that no one cares about? Strangely enough, this video proved really successful, far more than I anticipated, and goes to show that a couple of my scripted videos have done pretty well. If you're still here watching, and you found me from that video, give a little wave in the comments. This video needed a lot of time to think over before I uploaded it. Calling someone out in a video is a big responsibility, and I don't really want to make a career from starting arguments with people online. That type of content is very divisive, and often leaves certain people on top with bigger podiums to fall from. I think the video was worth making though. No one should really use the Daily Mail. There's a certain responsibility that comes with making a critical video, specifically about another creator. As someone who's inhabited the creator space from 2015 till now, I've witnessed the commentary culture completely engulf people's channels. You end up singling yourself out as a sparring partner for this other creator. Usually at the end of a beef, someone ends up on top and someone ends up on bottom. Very fitting for June. You may be familiar with the Cardigans song Loveful, a banger of a track. What you may not be aware of, however, is another track from the same album titled Your New Cuckoo. Yet another banger of a track from an already underrated group. That's my suggestion for the month. A very cute song takes us into the summer. Only one video this month, and it's a Let's Talk. I did a stream on Twitch the last time I did as of writing this script. The Xbox 360 Marketplace shut down this month, so I streamed myself having a little shopping trip to take a look at the Marketplace one last time. I spent a significant sum of money on avatar decorations, but it could be worse, because at least I didn't buy League of Legends cosmetics. What I instead want to talk about is the magic of friendship. My life has changed a lot in the past year, and one such change is the freedom to travel. I could have visited Brighton, like every other white guy with a YouTube and Twitch channel, but instead, I took a train to see my friends. My friends deserve a lot of praise. Some of them have tolerated my insufferable way of life for longer than anyone can imagine, and those people I consider my best friends. I felt a surreal sense of ease hanging out with these people. It felt like I'd finally found a home where I knew I felt comfortable, and I could be at ease even just slightly. We walked around town, did a snack run of the local off-licence, went to Weatherspoons for the first time. After 19 years, it felt like I was finally living the life that was promised to me as a kid. Everyone around me got to grab takeaway, hang out on weekends, physically exist in each other's lives. I never got to. It feels special to be listened to be protected. You could almost say that they dug me a garden, gave me sunshine, made me happy. There's that damn song again. Here I was, sitting on the bus home from visiting these people, watching hundreds of childhood memories flood past me. It felt like I'd only just found peace, only for it to be stripped from me as quickly as I had found it. I found myself sat alone, watching it all pass by. The life I could have lived. It feels strange, mourning the loss of someone who never existed. Still, I imagined that many years ago, there was a child destined to grow up in these neighbourhoods, spending evenings in the park with friends, existing. That child never got to live, even though it had been a difficult life in the end. Can you not help but feel mournful for the child it could have been? I love my friends. It's just a shame it had to be so short-lived. Rome by the B-52s. There's your song for the month. Return to old content this month. I revisited Hearts of Iron 4 with all its newfangled DLC. For some reason, you guys really seem to like that one. Perhaps it's because of the funny red arrows in the thumbnail. Not that much happened this month. I mostly just ate food and listened to Radiohead. August has been a bit of a drought in things to talk about, so I'll mention a strange experience I had here. It creeped up on me slowly, but I found myself reflecting quite a bit this month. I recall sitting on a park bench, eating a cheeseburger, when I suddenly realised that I'm an adult now. I mean, I've been an adult for 2 years now, but I think that half of that has been spent in the confines of the school, and another quarter was spent in the confines of my room, awaiting a job. Now I have a job and its income, I suddenly found myself in the real world. Here I was, in a park, eating food I had bought with my money, all the while I'd be walking myself home with my own free will. Perhaps my frontal lobe has just developed while editing this video. Adulthood is strange, and I feel like it has creeped up on me very suddenly. In September, I had a midlife crisis. However, in a rare burst of energy for an unemployed, miserable person, I uploaded more than one video in a month. A week later, and I'm playing Grand Theft Auto again, which was a very fun video to record, and I suggest you check it out. I've got another 2 hours of GTA recordings waiting to be edited, but I wanted to get this video out first. These later months are really uneventful. The good weather's going away, and I've got nothing to really talk about. You know what I do have to talk about? The Minecraft movie, which got its first trailer release this month. Once again, I'd like to gloat and say, I told you so. I got my hot take in months ago that the movie wasn't going to adapt well to live action. I plan on making a video about it properly, as well as other recent Minecraft news in the past year, but that's far from being made anytime soon. So, aside from Fata, what else did I get this month? This sick guitar. I still haven't played it, but next year I'm planning on doing some videos finally playing it. Radiohead once said that anyone can play guitar, but we'll be putting that to the test. September is a bit of a weird month in the UK, since the next school year starts. Last September, my year group left, and the year group below mine took my place, meaning, as of this month, that class had since finished school. It's crazy to think how much has changed in only a year. A year ago, I was struggling to find a job. Now, memories of the classrooms and friends I'd left behind seem much more distant than before. Almost as if they never happened. It's hard to imagine I'm mostly the same person as I used to be, only a year ago. Same ambitions, same personality, same passions and same emotions. I don't know who I am anymore. Am I that school kid, or am I this adult? Where'd all the time go? I find myself asking this a lot. Back in 2010, Dr. Dog seemed to have the same question, which he turned into this month's song pick. I've had this song playing quite a bit lately. Something about it takes me back to a time where I was younger. Maybe the keyboard sounds like Strawberry Fields Forever, or the acoustic guitar. I feel as though listening to this song, I could see my younger self. Very fitting. One video, and it's one I remember quite fondly, even if I'm not proud of it. I embraced the low effort style for once, and put out a Minecraft video, largely consisting of me just talking for 40 minutes. Imagine that, having to sit and listen to me talk for over half an hour about my life, and hey, don't look at the timestamp. This Minecraft video was largely motivated by Tommy Innett's video YouTube's Changed, in which he talks about how the platform feels less exciting to make content on, how YouTube is now so numbers driven that there's no appeal in making what you want, only what caters to a tried and tested formula for algorithmic success. I really resonated with this video, as I think for too long I've been prioritising marketability over my own personal satisfaction. How I started making content back in 2020 because I was fed up with the algorithm manipulation, how modern content plays into it, how channels nowadays don't feel like they're making videos for the love of the craft. I don't act purposely loud for audience retention because I'm not a loud person. I don't remind you all that only a small percentage of my viewers are subscribed. I used to, but that's not me anymore. The sole reason I'm making this video is because I want to talk about life. I want to reflect on the work I put into this channel in the past year, as well as open a dialogue about the world we all live in. Community was one of the biggest factors in me creating this channel. Community and fat stacks. On one hand, I want the Let's Talk series to be an opportunity to make content like it's 2011 again. Who cares about audience retention, sticking to a script, coherence, or even video structure? I remember a time when videos on YouTube were just teenagers sitting in front of webcams, talking about their lives and issues. Camera recordings of people's TVs playing video games. Dumb comedy routines with their friends. YouTube was once a silly website where the motto was quite literally broadcast yourself. I don't recognise modern YouTube. I don't see the broadcast yourself option anymore. But on the other hand, the effort I put into these videos matters to me. I don't want to mass produce content with little substance just for the sake of filling up someone's subscriptions. I could always just react to things or make uninformed, unthought-provoking videos intended to serve as background noise for whatever game you have open on your main monitor. Do you have this video on your second monitor? No, if I had to guess. This video is currently on in a living room television at a New Year's Eve party. Radiohead was on my mind once again this month. You'd think that they're my favourite band with how much I listen to them, but no, I actually like the Beatles. A lot of October was spent woken up by early morning alarms, and there's nothing better to prepare you for a painful retail job than an emotionally devastating 7 AM listening session to the Bends. Fake Plastic Trees was my favourite song of the month, perfectly soundtracking the lifeless new conditions I found myself in. This job wears me out. No videos. I didn't feel up to making a video this month. Sure, I recorded some content late last month for Halloween, but realistically this video had priority over another GTA video. Hell, it's December 10th as I write this, and I haven't even finished this first draft. Currently sitting at 4,560 words, 8 pages, and a growing feeling that this video will require a time crunch. Proofreading this script now on the 20th at 10 pages and 6,200 words. This is why videos take a while to come out. It's the 20-something as I record this script, 22nd. Instead of making any videos, I spent this month just trying to exist. I didn't even listen to music. I mostly listened to quiet instrumentals at 6 o'clock in the morning. Originally, I was going to have a dedicated segment for December, but this month has been so uneventful that there's quite literally nothing to write about, just like November, so I'll cut straight to the chase. You've seen how my year went. I've seen what videos I put out this year, But all in all, how was 2024? I don't remember. Seriously, it was a struggle putting this video together. I had to scroll to the depths of my camera roll to even write half of this stuff. But December's here, and next thing we know, it'll be January. January to December, year after year. And that's a lifetime spent doing something. It's strange, really. It felt as though I had too much time at the start of the year. I'd send some job applications in the morning and make videos in the evening. I kept this going for weeks. I had finally found my passion for making videos again, but I also felt purposeless. I knew I couldn't just exist in my room, that I needed something to occupy myself with outside of content and filling out forms. Now it's the opposite. I found my place in the world. I've become part of a society and a workplace that I've wanted for so long. Yet this newfound role stripped me of my passion for content. I feel stuck in limbo, not yet condemned to a life of work where I can't enjoy myself, but not blessed with a life spent working on passion projects and creative freedom. I want to be someone, I just don't have the time. Well, who am I? I want to see how this year has changed me and my channel. Frankly, I've tried my hardest not to watch my own videos for years. I feel it requires an ego that I don't have. This video has dragged on for long enough, so for this video, I'll just stick to my last Minecraft video, and the first Siege video from January. I might look back on more videos in the future. For most of the videos I make, I never plan to make my videos ahead of time. This video is a bit of an exception, since I wanted to make a sequel to last year's retrospective, which I knew was going to be uploaded on the anniversary of the channel. I made a sudden decision to start writing the script in November, since I felt a returning creative energy, but also because I remember the struggle of making last year's video on time. I was recording and editing segments as late as Christmas Eve. The Minecraft video, in fact, was largely motivated by a Tommy in It video I saw earlier that day, about how YouTube's culture towards creators has become slightly hostile over the years, with creators beginning to resent the toxic relationships between themselves and the platform that keeps them afloat. I hope Tom finds joy knowing that his art piece resonated so much with another person that they created something themselves. Also, if I mention Tommy in It enough in the script, I get to put him in the video tags. Tommy in It, Tommy in It, Tommy in It. 6 mentions. I reckon that's enough of an excuse. I hope my videos can also, one day, motivate people to become artists just as much as others did for me. Tom talks a lot about how YouTube is driven by numbers as the measure of success, how the algorithm is God, and a successful video is the one with the best metrics. Ironically, the sole reason I uploaded my Minecraft video so quickly was because one time I uploaded 2 Call of Duty videos in a row, and the second one performed worse metrically. I had been conditioned into believing that if I post the same game twice, I'm condemning my channel to failure. The algorithm is a god and I fear it. 3.5 minutes in, and I start to critique capitalism, so I think I'll leave that video there. It seems making a video essay turns you socialist. The Siege video immediately starts with my old microphone, and oh boy is my new one so much better. If you want to hear comparisons between the two, check out my microphone review video, where I show a side-by-side test. It's incredible to think that microphone lasted me 3 years of content, and in that time I saw no issue with how it sounded. My videos used to suck, admittedly, not just in quality either. I can feel myself not speaking in the Seed video, and when I do, it's quiet and can't be heard over the game. It's really eye-opening watching my own videos back almost a year later, and finding the viewing experience so bad. Side by side, it's actually surprising in hindsight seeing the improvement in both creative technique and the enthusiasm I put into these videos. Perhaps 2024 was a great year for self-improvement, and I never realised. I got to be a better version of myself, more confident in my work, more expressive about myself, and definitely more passionate about what I make. This extends to offline too. One of the things I've heard quite a bit in the summer is how my co-workers thought I improved as a worker. I've spent too long now talking about who I was this year, and I think it's time I talk about who I want to be going into the next year. I want to be a lot of things. Living a more comfortable work-life balance, free to work on my passions, becoming a musician, but above all of these, I want to be happy. 2023 was a rough year for me, having lost the comfort of school, followed by a gut punch of news to finish the year off. When I made last year's retrospective, 2023 was a letdown. I ended the video in December, having just recovered from a pit of gloominess, struggling to find work, and, admittedly, struggling to find my place in the world. 2024 was the year I bounced back from all these setbacks, and found my footing once again. I have my energy, I have my job, I have my aspirations for the next year. I know what I want to be in 2025. You'll be seeing a lot more of me, hopefully trying my hand at music, video essays, and expanding my horizons content-wise. The gaming's not going anywhere, but I reckon I need to spend more time asking myself what I want to be known for. If my channel were a photography portfolio, do I want people to know me for my best photos, or do I want them to know me for all the times I took a blurry photo? I feel, at times, this year has been me sleepwalking from one month to another, but I can't live my life like this. It's time to wake up. But 2024 was a nice dream.